All right, money problems. So these are definitely on the ASVAB, and so we want to get comfortable with how to calculate some of these. A lot of the times it has to do with tax and interest, working time and a half, things like that. So let's take a look. Okay, so the first question says Rebecca bought a sandwich for exactly $10. Okay, so we got a sandwich that costs $10. Sales tax is 6%. She paid with a $20 bill. How much change? Okay, so we have the sandwich cost $10, right? And sales tax was 6%. Okay, so 10 times 0.06, and don't do this with a calculator. Will might help you get the right answer on practice questions, but on the ASVAB you won't be able to use one. So the sales tax is 0.60, right? And so again, it was 10 was the cost of the sandwich plus 0.60 equals 10.60, right? Okay, and that will be one of your answer choices almost for sure, right? But we haven't answered the question yet, right? We're pretty close, but it said she paid with a $20 bill minus the cost of the sandwich plus the sales tax is 10.60, and so that will give us an answer of, once we subtract this out, 940. So that's really your final answer right there. It's going to be $9.40. That's going to be the change that you get, and that was the question: is how much change does Rebecca get? Okay, so that's just calculating tax. Common question. No reason to miss it. Just a couple of little steps right there, and you're good to go. Okay, so we got 4 of these total. Second question. Okay, so this is time and a half. So with time and a half, the concept is that you get paid an hourly rate, and but once you work more than 40 hours in a week, which is considered the full work week, all the hours more than 40, you get paid time and a half, right? So that would be like 1.5 of your normal rate. So if you get paid $10 an hour normally, time and a half is 15, right? So if you get paid normally 10, when you're working overtime, you get paid time and a half. 10 times 1.5 is 15. That's the time and a half concept. Okay, so in this one, it says Jamal gets paid $15 an hour and time and a half for overtime. Last week he worked 45 hours. How much did he make? Okay, so let's get rid of this 10 since that was the wrong number. Okay, so he worked, so let's go through this. He worked 45 hours, right? So the first 40 hours he's going to get paid 15 an hour. 15 an hour times 40 hours equals some number we're going to calculate in a second. And then, but he worked 45 hours total for the week. So then there's another 5 hours where he'll get paid that time and a half, right? And so what is that number? We'll just do that down here. 15 times 1.5. And so if you calculate that out, 15 times 1.5 is 2250. Okay, so 2250 right in here for this is what he's going to make per hour for the last 5 hours times 5. Okay, so now we got all the math set up and we just have to calculate. So you're going 15 times 40 up here. That's the first 40 hours plus 2250 times 5. That's our last 5 hours. And then we're going to add those two numbers together once we calculate them out. Okay, so 15 times 40, if you do the math on that, is 600. 22.50 times 5 the 112.50. Okay. If you add those two together, so I've got these numbers kind of colliding on me, but we get 712.50. Okay, and that's what he would make for the week, right? So that's an overtime question. That's how you go about solving those. I mean, remembering overtime means more than 40 hours, you get paid time and a half, so you have a new hourly wage for those hours. Overtime questions, very, very common. You want to be prepared for those. There are many questions just like these first two and these next two that we're going to do in the app. So if you're not in there yet, go check it out. If you are in it, a lot of times you just got to keep seeing some of those practice questions, going over videos and paying attention to the feedback. So if anything went wrong, we can know what it is so that we can fix it for the real test. Okay. Third question. Okay, so a car last week was selling for $7,000. Okay, so usually just kind of write this stuff as I'm reading it. Was selling for $7,000 and is on sale this week for a 30% discount. What is the new price? Okay, so it says 30% discount, right? Okay, so when we do this, when we multiply this 7,000 times 0.3, that's going to be 2,100. Okay, but that's not your final answer. This is how much it's being discounted by, right? Because I just multiplied it by the discount. 7,000 times 0.3 is 2,100, so it's $2,100 less than it was last week, right? But to get the actual answer, I need to go 7,000 minus that 2,100. Okay, and once I've done that math, I come up with an answer of 5,900. That's the new price. Okay, and so that's how you go about doing that. Fairly straightforward. Sorry, not 5,900. What am I doing? 4,900. Sorry. Just forgot how to subtract there, right? 7,000 minus 2,000 is 5,000. Minus 2,100 is 4,900. Okay. And we got one more. Okay. These all very, very common. The most common ones that we ever see on the ASVAB. Okay, so this last one is a money question, and that says Jason's bank pays 2% interest per $1,000 in the account, and he's not taken any money out or put any money in since his original deposit of $1,000 2 months ago. Okay, so he has 1,000 in, and he's going to get 2% interest per month. Okay, so the common mistake here is people go 1,000 times 0.02, and they go ahead and do that math, and they do it correct, and it's $20 a month. Okay, and then they say, okay, you asked for how much is in after 2 months if you didn't take any money out, and we assume that the answer is 1,040, right? Just $20 for 2 months, 20 plus 20 is 40, 1,040, right? Okay, and so it ends up not being right, and here's why. Is at the beginning, so that's what, for the first month it's correct, right? We have 1,000 plus 20, now we're at 1,020, right? Okay, but month 2, we're going to be multiplying not times 1,000, but times 1,020, right? And so that number is going to be slightly bigger than 20. 1,020 times 0.02 is 20.40. Okay, and so if we take this 1,020, which is what we started with in month 2, plus this 20.40, we're left with 1,040 0.40. Okay, and that is the actual answer, right? So it seems like very small difference, just a difference of 40 cents, but it would just depend on how much money we have in there, right? From a percentage standpoint, it's still significant and will definitely add up over time, right? This keeps happening month after month for years. Is all of a sudden it makes a big difference. That we're multiplying this new number times 0.02 every month. Okay, so those are the 4 most common types of money problems that you're going to see on the ASVAB, and I hope the video helped you out, and keep spending time on the app to get more practice at these types of problems so we're really ready to go on test day.